to give you just a brief, or really to support what Val has been saying and expand a little bit more on what SAGEO is and what NEOS is. The first couple of slides I'm going to skip over because I think Val has covered the GEO part of it, or the SAGEO part of it in detail, and I'll just concentrate on who NEOS is. The Earth observation landscape, I think we have seen. I think the point we want to make here is that Earth observation is very clearly defined by GEO as space, aerial, and in situ observations. And we need to remember that, and when we look around us, we see most of us sort of equate Earth observation to spaceborne Earth observation. And our big challenge is to bring the aerial and the in situ Earth observers into the community as well. The SAGEO, just to touch a little bit on the basis of communities of practice. SAGEO work very much on the organization of communities of practice. And the community of practice is defined as a group of people who share a concern or a passion for something they do and learn how to do better as they interact regularly. Quite a mouthful. But it really brings together a community that works around a certain objective or interest and works together on that. The characteristic of these communities of practice is that they're self-organizing, so it really comes from the community themselves. They're informal, they are not within any organization, so they cross boundary, cross organizations, and they have many kinds of members. It's not only researchers, but there's contributors, there's facilitators, there's practitioners, they all belong to the community and are active in it. It is all voluntary. A lot of it is based on trust, especially when you start sharing intellectual property. And the real objective is to share best practices and to reuse knowledge by sharing it within the community. The other important thing is that it's not just a talk shop. A community should work towards some sort of deliverable. And what we'll start doing with the SAGEO is start stimulating and creating these communities of practice. The portal has been explained quite a lot. Getting on then to NEOS as the secretariat to SAGEO, Val has indicated that it is a DST initiative. It is a response to the South African Earth Observation Strategy. It was resourced in December 2012, so this is our really first big event, and we hope it goes well. Currently, NEOS is hosted at the CSIR in the Strategic Initiatives Implementation Unit. We're being incubated, they tell me. So when we hatch, I'm not quite sure what will happen. But we're really at pains not to be seen as a CSIR institution to maintain our independence. So in spite of having all our infrastructure and our identity within the CSIR, we are in fact trying to keep an independence as much as we can. And then we're also not to be confused with the South African National Space Agency. I've heard quite a lot of comments saying the SANSA NEOS conference. There is also an independence between those two organizations. Our vision then is to create a vibrant, collaborative and well-coordinated Earth observation and space applications community with ready and open access to Earth observation data and imagery for South Africa. So that's what we're working towards. At the moment, we're concentrating on the Earth observations. The other sort of space-based communities will come later, and I think Val also mentioned that. The mission that we've set ourselves to be an effective and coordinated initiative for Earth observations and space users, to create and support vibrant, well-coordinated and efficient user-provided forums for Earth observation, and later on again the other communities, and to encourage free and open access to Earth observation data, actively promote international participation, and relevant activities by South African Earth observers and space applications communities. And so in essence what we do, We are the secretariat to SAGO. SAGO is the people in front of me, you folks. So we try and coordinate communities of practice through workshops, symposia and meetings. We promote data access and sharing through the portal, and you'll hear a lot more about the portal as that becomes online and starts growing. We establish communications with and networks within the SAGO community. We determine user requirements, so the communities identify the user requirements, we promote them. Promote South Africa's participation in international and Earth observation initiatives is also one of our functions. And then in future we look at the other communities. And I think very much in brief, that's who we are.